going to go ourselves into game, and we are going to kick off into this TVZ. This was another of the quarterfinal matches from the WardiTV Invitational number 3. As Zero Grad comes in of the Cheer 1 as well. Oh my god, it's a bit war. The bits are flying everywhere. Avex, the bit boss, is under attack. Ah! Don't forget, guys, I mean, if you are a Twitch Prime user, you can now buy 500 bits for $1. So, it's an insane discount, honestly. That's actually, like, beyond beyond my own personal understanding. But yeah, if you're a Twitch Prime user, you can buy 500 bits for $1. So you can essentially make a $5 donation for the cost of $1. So if you're a Twitch Prime user, I would get on that. Whether you use it here on another stream, you should use it. Give some love to your friends. It's actually buying $5 for $1. Exactly, I know, it's amazing, right? You're actually buying $5 for $1. It's crazy. Right, guys, let's do this. To the top left-hand side, the red Zerg. This is Nerchio. And to the bottom right-hand side, the blue Terran player is KeeN. So these are this is the only other match from the playoffs that we didn't cast yet. And so we'll cast this matchup, and then we'll cast a couple of games from the group stages. I especially want to cast Ufilmal versus Denver. Otherwise, I'm not really too bothered what we cast. Maybe we can just do a poll for which matches we should cast. Does that sound good to you guys? Does that sound like a plan? Yeah, I think a poll would be nice. Then you guys can kind of decide what we cast. Maybe the Cheer 1 Zero Grad. It really is a bit low out there today. Anyways, we get set up. And we wait to see what's going to happen. I guess we could watch this Reaper. I really did rant a little bit at the start of this game. I didn't realize the Reaper was already across the map. Huh. Good plan, says Spyro the Dragoon. Well, Spyro says it's a good plan. It must be a good plan, guys. Spyro's never lied to me in my life, so there we go. Alright. So, we're going to be seeing this Reaper getting pushed away from the left-hand side. I mean, obviously, not really much you can do for Reaper on backwater. You can dive in this side, but by the time this hatchery sees out the Overlord, the Queens are going to be here, and it's very difficult to get in. Obviously, you can jump up here as well, but the Ling's already positioned. There's actually a lot of things you can do for Reaper on backwater. It's just that Nerchio is so well prepared for all of those possibilities that not much will be done, as a couple of Hellions are going to come out towards the upper left-hand side. So we are just going to be seeing the couple of Hellions and the Reaper coming towards the upper left-hand side. And, well, I mean, with the Hellions, obviously the Reaper's a little bit more stable. Link speed's up, but there's not a lot of Lings, so it's still just a Queen-focused defense here. I have to be careful when two more Hellions arrive that this isn't going to be a bit of a dive-by in towards that natural expansion. Diving on in, trying to get some of those drones on those minerals. There's triple Queen at the front, so it is a good damage up, and you can see that KeeN is somewhat respectful at the moment, as we're going to be seeing the battle does kick off, and we are going to have the Reaper and the Hellions pushed away. Well, I mean, I say pushed away. They're coming back in for some more action, but they have to be careful because attacks like that will see them just being lost. So one Hellion does drop down here, and we are going to be having the Hellion's still just pulling back and getting a few more link kills just for the moment. As we do see this, Bane and Ness is about to finish up on the natural expansion. So Bane and Ness finishing up. I mean, so far so good. We kind of look back on KeeN's side of the map to see if there's much to talk about, and, well, not really. There's a Liberator on the way out. A little bit of a Link counterattack could be kind of fun here. There's actually already one Liberator in the main base, but Nerchio has got double Queen here. That first Queen actually takes a long time to walk around to this side, and then still goes down, so that's actually a big shame, because it could have just started to attack right away if he was just going to leave it in the zone. So a bit of a mistake there, but this Link counterattack's going to get some damage done to make up for what those Liberators are getting done. I mean, that's 8 SCVs already, and, well, 9 at the very end as the last Lings go down. Good cleanup by Nerchio, good counterattack. Stimpack starts to appear from KeeN because, there's Overlords here, though. I wonder if this is a bit of a fake out, because continuing to make Liberators, continuing to make Hellions, this doesn't really feel as though it's going to be bio play and a Stimpack upgrade committed into. It kind of just feels like this may be a bit more of a fake out. I mean, the fact it's backwater kind of also makes me feel a little bit as though that could be the case. I mean, it could very well be bio play, but then another couple of Cyclones as well. I mean, again, I guess possible very heavy aggression early on, like Hellbat Cyclone in towards a bio follow-up is something that we have seen in the past. It's just usually it hits a bit sooner and usually isn't this many Hellions which come and take part. So we're drawing on the way up right now for Nerchio, as we do see a Spine Crawler and Evolution Chamber coming through, and you're just going to have this lair on its way up. I mean, the road drawing interesting from Nerchio. He opened a Baneling Nest, and that's not a very Nerchio-esque thing to do. Nerchio really does love to play roaches from the get-go in ZvT. And then if he needs to, he likes to add a Baneling Nest later, but this game he goes with Baneling Nest into a road drawing. So there's a little bit of a difference here, as you do see. Is that still complete, right? No, it is a little bit too soon for it to complete. So he is going to play Mech here, KeeN, going into game number 1. It was just a fake out for that Overlord, because again, as Nerchio saw it, it looked like Bio, right? It looks like a stim pack. So a nice little fake out here. We'll see if Nerchio figures it out, because you don't usually see the stim pack kind of being kind of faked. Usually, usually you don't have that sort of opportunity, I don't think. Liberator sits off to the side here as a lot of Hellions coming through the center, backed up by a couple of Cyclones. They have some real firepower in this kind of squad of units now. Their ability to really kind of just start tearing through a couple of units here and there. Hellions both in their Hellbats, and the Cyclones will be able to lock themselves on towards this Overlord towards the front. The Medivac coming in too, so a little bit of healing available. Well, that Baneling Nest is going to come in useful, because man, Banes against Hellbats will be great, especially if you connect like that. Look at those Hellbats to the top side, so low already. So easy to take down in the next couple of moments. The Queen's a couple of shots, and they've already fallen. Now the extra Banes finish up. The big part of this from Nerchio is being able to kind of get through the Hellbats quickly to give himself access to the Cyclone line, as we are going to be seeing some more drones pulling away here. Hellbats still fighting. Oh my god, the drones take a big beating. Somehow they don't go down, but the Cyclones are currently controlling this natural as Nerchio tries to get some more units out. Now he's killed off enough Hellbats where the Link flooding in as reinforcements is starting to maybe do a little bit of enough to kind of clean those Cyclones up. They're lower on health than they were. Can he get them just that little bit low? Can he actually kill them off here? A lot of lost mining time at the moment, obviously. All of these drones are just sat here doing nothing. But it is going to be a cleanup. 2 Cyclones get away in the Medivac, but Nerchio holds on. Lost the Roachron, but I'd say for now he has plenty of roaches to defend with. KeeN is on 3 CCs, though, a 4th Command Center building, and he's on 59, 61 SCVs. With Cripple Mule available, KeeN has got one hell of an income lead at the moment, and that's definitely going to be very apparent already. You can see all of that kind of lost mining time from Nerchio really coming into play. So KeeN definitely with a successful attack, I think. Nerchio definitely kind of set back a little bit, having to rebuild structures even, and definitely not where he kind of really wanted it to be coming out of that one. And we are just going to be seeing the Hellions push back through the center. 7 drones going down. What's that? The Cyclones in the main base actually targeting down the Hydralisk Den. I mean, that's one way to most definitely kind of secure yourself some damage, which will slow down the Zerg in the game. But the Hydralisk Den, oh my god, very narrowly didn't go down. The Spore Crawler at least gets rid of the Medivac, and so the Cyclones do fall. The Hydralisk Den will be again slowed down for now as Nerchio's taking a beating here in these early stages. There's another handful of drones dropping as we see Queens going to try and hold the front lines, as we are going to be seeing those Hellions continue to dive in towards the natural expansion. 6 drones killed as we see the Roaches and Ravagers continue to push on through. And we are going to see them continue to chase just that last Hellion away, but good damage dealt again by KeeN, throwing away these units which are just unnecessary for him. And all of this just buys more time when Nerchio's rebuilding drones. He's kept on a lower tech army, and the longer that's the case for Nerchio, the better it gets for KeeN, because over time, KeeN's army becomes much better at taking a larger straight up fight. We are going to be seeing these couple of 4s coming in. Obviously, the 4 drop is something we've seen a lot of from mech play over the last 6 months or so now. Wow, it's really been a while since we first saw this happening, but it really is the case that it's quite the common occurrence, of course. It happens in the majority of mech games versus Zerg. As you see, this drone was meant to be the hatchery, but they both went down. It's almost as though this drone knew that this drone was just going to get killed, but they both go down. So both drones fall in there as the 4s drop in towards the 3rd base. Again, Nerchio's just like, really, I mean, this time he's going to have some units in position, and he will push this back. But it really feels like Nerchio every time has to scramble a little bit to get the defense ready to go. KeeN really has just got a bit of momentum for himself initially, and with that momentum, it's just like no one can stop him. As Nerchio will run in after those few Hellions towards the top side. Those Roaches continue chasing. They will be able to get some shutdowns on those Hellions finally, so some nice little pickoffs there in the end. Took a little while to get there, but still another 9 drones, and it's again another 9 workers which now Nerchio has to rebuild. That's another 9 lava which could have gone elsewhere. It's another 20 seconds where he's missing 9 workers of income. it all adds up, and especially when you think about, I mean, do you want to take a guess how many workers are killed this game? I'm going to say 30, no, I think 27. I was right at 30, man. 38 workers are being killed this game. I mean, that's just insane. Because, of course, there's not just been kind of 38 workers killed, there's been so many times where those workers have pulled away, and Income definitely has been KeeN's friend for the last 5 minutes or so of this. And you can start to see that army supply really just kind of keeping up with the Zerg, and that's scary when a mech player is able to keep up with your own army supply as a Zerg player. Well, these roach drops could do something already. SCVs pull away. I mean, if it's Banelings, then you have to pull away quickly. As roaches, you have a little bit more leeway, but even still, it's nice to pull them away because it minimizes the damage done. And, well, this is nice from Nerchio, finally getting some kind of damage dealt, but he should be target firing SCVs, not targeting this tank, because 3 roaches are not going to be enough there. Actually is keeping some of these roaches alive. The burrow is good. So KeeN, I mean, he probably has to use a scan or two here as well. He already preemptively scans this set of roaches, as these roaches actually just move themselves in towards the main base. That tunneling claws coming through here from Nerchio and will deliver some damage. Meanwhile, a small army of KeeN out in the center of the map and looking to try and find, I guess, a bit larger than small. Has another couple of tanks and 4s in it. But just looking for the chance to maybe take an engagement, maybe clean up some creep spread and slow Nerchio down in that regard. As Nerchio takes himself both a 5th and 6th hatchery at the same time here on Backwater. A map where generally you get 7 bases apiece if both players mine out their own side of the map, top and bottom. Oftentimes you see the Zerg maybe sometimes able to take the bottom, top right and bottom left at the same time while keeping the Terran on the 5 bases. You know, sometimes it can be a struggle to push up this ramp and onto this base here and defend while also holding over here. But if you do hold this base, generally you can hold this bottom left as well as the Terran. So that's going to be a major talking point later on if we do get to a much later stage of this TVZ. So we're seeing these Hellions diving in. A lot of drones going down. I mean, a lot of drones going down on this 3rd base mineral line as well. I mean, what on earth? 28 workers killed, 30 workers killed. Just by one little kind of run by? Man, I mean, there wasn't even that many Hellions. It's just they all went all over the place, and Nerchio's army did not intercept them initially. And now it's again another couple of minutes where Nerchio spends time rebuilding drones. He's already been rebuilding drones during the fight. Well, it's just again expensive to kind of have to keep doing that. Drones loss is now 73 throughout the game. 73 drones lost throughout this game, guys. That's an insane amount of workers just be losing out on from start through to finish here. And we're just going to be seeing those Vipers up in the sky for Nerchio, and we are going to be seeing tanks, Hellbats moving forwards. A couple of 4s mixed in still. The Vikings are up to fight against the Vipers. Here we go. Nerchio going to start taking a fight in the middle of the map. We do see a couple of crows. Oh my god. I say a couple of blind clouds. That's a good amount of blind clouds. That's one hell of a fight. Unfortunately, though, the parasitic bomb. I didn't even see the parasitic bomb, but suddenly a bunch of Vikings are in the middle of my screen on no health at all. They all blow up. What a fight from Nerchio. I was about to say, unfortunately, the Roaches and Ravagers didn't quite break through the Hellbat line fast enough, so they couldn't take advantage of all of those tanks and blinding clouds. But the parasitic bomb was absolutely insane. What a way to kind of, well, just be explosive is the correct word for it. Those Vikings exploded. 15 SCVs going down as a couple of Roaches are burrowing around the place as well. This is one hell of a way to turn the momentum right back into the other direction. Nerchio taking one hell of a fight. He takes another fight, some, even half as decent as that. Well, this is going to be problems for KeeN, although right now there's no Vipers, there's no blind clouds. I don't know why Nerchio's fighting this. He doesn't need to. He really doesn't need to because he doesn't have Vipers. He was already going to lose the base. He loses so much in this fight that suddenly this turns around again. This was not an engagement he should have taken, right? I mean, he even loses this Viper, and he doesn't even clean out the siege tanks. He could have just waited. He was in absolutely no rush at all, as this 4's been getting kills, by the way, and is now getting some Zerglings. Medivac is still just about alive somehow. But yeah, I mean, why take the fight? This base is already going down. You have this base that's barely even saturated. Just let the army sit there, get your Vipers up, and if the army starts to push forwards and becomes an issue, at least then you've had another minute or so to get your Vipers back in the game, to get them the energy you need, to give you the utility spells, the blinding clouds, the abducts, the parasitic bombs that you need to take down this mech army. Running in with Hydras and so on isn't good enough, especially when a lot of what he killed in that last fight was Hellbats and Vikings. He actually didn't do that much damage to the tank count, and so the tank count is still as scary as ever if you're just trying to run in and not do anything else in the process. Now, Nerchio will start to launch a counterattack. He still leads in supply, but it could have been much better. And the biggest issue is maybe the fact he's knocked down to 4 bases now against what is currently a 5-base Terran, or about to be, once the Terran player finds a moment to clean up that Zergling and to land that command center down on the 6 o'clock position. A couple of tanks will siege themselves up, and this will be an extractor getting taken down. As we are going to be seeing a little bit of a split of the unit composition here from Nerchio. Maybe he just doesn't have the economy to rebuild Vipers, and that's why he just dove on it while he could. Maybe he just felt as though he couldn't, he didn't have a chance to get the Vipers back up into play here. Tanks in the main base take down the main, and that's going to be goodbye to just a hatchery. The hive's on the natural, so it's not the end of the world in that regard in terms of tech, but it's just one more hatchery. I mean, it's another 700 gas, which he's not going to get unless he rebuilds 300 minerals, 300 mineral hatchery. None of that really, is really great, especially when you're already just down to the 4 bases, because now instead of having 7 gases of income for the next 3 or 4 minutes, you actually only have 6 gases of income. And it actually is quite a big deficit, because gas is really going to be important here, especially because, gas is the sort of thing that will stop him from building Vipers. Vipers are the sort of thing that's maybe going to stop him, if he doesn't have them, it's going to stop him from having a fight which can win him this game, number 1 of this best of 3. Well, a couple of Ravens are being on the way up in the last few moments as well, so we're starting to get to that stage where KeeN has taken a lead, and once you take a lead nowadays in TVZ, you're allowed to kind of just get the Raven count built up, and once that Raven count is built up, it becomes so difficult, if not maybe even somewhat impossible, for the Zerg to really fight against, as we see those Hellions coming through the south side. Just looking to see what they can do over the next couple of moments. Looks as though they're not off for a run back by. I mean, at this stage, he doesn't even have that many Hellions left over. I guess he'll maybe try and run by a few of them. KeeN's kind of low on minerals himself. He's spending his gas very nicely now that he's building these kind of gas-intensive units. He doesn't have like a massive minerals left over. He can afford a few Hellions here and there though, so running around, getting rid of some of the creep tumors. Again, just keeping the threat on the map, which can maybe keep Nerchio pinned back a little bit more, and it just buys KeeN even more time for those Ravens to truly come up and into play. And those Ravens coming into play are, again, maybe one of the most important things about all of this here. If the Ravens are able to actually get themselves into the action, well, they are just going to be so deadly. As Broodlord's starting to come up, but Nerchio, he hasn't hit Broodlords at a stage of the game where it's an issue for KeeN. KeeN is going to be so well prepared and so well set up to deal with that. This is really not something that he should be too bothered about, as we do see those Hellions just continue to move around. They haven't even been too aggressive, right? I mean, they're just looking for the chances. And as they see a few kind of drones over here, they'll dive on in, and that's going to be at least 5 or 10 workers killed again, depending on the way they line up. And eventually they go down. 8 workers is the number. Once again. And again, it's just another little kick in the teeth for Nerchio. He's just trying to set something up here that can make this work, but I just don't know what happens. I just don't know how you take a fight right now. I just don't know how you take a fight right now as Nerchio. And at least he's got Vipers up again, so he's got an opportunity, but there's Ravens, there's Vikings, so the Vipers are in trouble, the Corrupts and Brews, there's not even that many of them. The tank count's very good, and there's what, 16 Roaches, 4 Ravagers, and 8 Hydras? That doesn't sound terrifying. It's just this is the sort of army which you're kind of at usually when you first hit Brutals, which is obviously what Nerchio's just had. So usually that happens way before 19, 20 minutes in game, as KeeN pushes forwards. This time he splits the Viking away from the Parasite Bomb, and we're going to be seeing the anti-armor missiles pin that Zerg army orange. And with that, I mean, the Broodlords are already damaged. He doesn't even siege up the tanks, though. Siege just pushing on forwards. He doesn't need them to be sieged. This fight is going so one-sidedly in his favor. It's a GG from Nerchio. And KeeN is able to take game. He's taking all of the viewers, all of the subs, all of, it's just insane. He's taking all the sponsors. Billy Bob, like, god damn it, dude, you're killing StarCraft. What can I say? Game number 2 to the top left-hand side is our red Zerg player. This is Nerchio. And to the bottom right-hand side, our blue Terran, of course, up 1-0, is KeeN. Adzi with the Cheer 2, fighting back yet again. The back and forth between Tacklestuff and Adzi continues. Thank you, Tacklestuff, for the Cheer 2. Aye, alright. Some back and forth bits in the chat. I'm going to catch up with you guys after if you're just going to keep throwing a few at each other every now and then. as we set ourselves up into this game number 2. Look to see what the players can come up with on Catalyst. Such a different map. I mean, it actually doesn't really get that much different here on Catalyst than, you know, it doesn't get much different than Catalyst versus Backwater. Catalyst, straight up, actually, what's so intriguing is that you still have the same number of bases on Catalyst as you do on Backwater. There's 7 bases per player. Yet it's just so different. Backwater is so large. It's so easy to take the first 4 or 5 bases even. All of that's very cool as we do see these early build orders coming into play. And already a bit of a difference from Nerchio. Not a hatchery first, but a pool first. A gas pool first. Oh no, that's actually a lie. It's actually pool hatch gas. So pool first into the hatchery, then the gas starts to come up here. So again, they're set up and ready to go. Allows him to basically gets a couple of things on the map, maybe delays a CC, maybe brings the Reaper back home if he wants to do something like sneaky or cheeky in a follow-up. We'll see if that's going to be the case in the next couple of moments. Reaper's just popped out from KeeN as a factory on the way up in the main base as well, and we are going to be seeing this Reaper just coming across. I mean, this is obviously a very standard Reaper-based expand. A second gas means we're not going to see something crazy like a fast free CC or so. Speed just coming on through. There's a couple of people using the replay pack command as well, guys. I'm just going to send out, or let you guys know that we do have our first replay pack of April out and available for you all. It's available on our Discord server for subscribers, so if you want to get your hands on 230 plus replays, then you can become a subscriber today and you'll get access to all those replays from all of the pro players we've been casting over the last couple of weeks, as well as a new replay pack coming out in the next couple of days featuring the rest of the WardiTV Invitational number 3 and some other stuff that we're going to be casting over the next few days. So generally you get 500 to 600 replays a month, and it's about how much we cast in StarCraft 2 a month, and it's definitely good value if you're someone who likes the replays, who likes the he likes the replays being available to you and being able to check them out in game. Sorry, I just laughed because Taka Stuff and Adzi have been having this like little bit war over time. They kind of step it up a little bit, and then Adzi's like begins charging energy, and Devil's Fire just cheers 100 and takes the second place on the bit pool. It was just such perfect timing. Caught me off guard and made me giggle a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. Anyways, game number 2, as we set up here and look to see how things are going to kind of turn out. Obviously, an armory currently on the way up right now from KeeN. A couple of Hellions, the medevac on the way through. That Roach Road is still just on the way up now, and it just allows Nerchio to, well, with a lot of gas in the bank, actually, Nerchio. A couple of overlords on the way out. Do we potentially see him just making a bunch of roaches aggressively? Or is it just defensively? I mean, honestly, 8 to 10 roaches defensively into a counterattack could be one way to look at this. Most definitely. So that's a real possibility right now as this armory comes on up and comes into play. We are going to be seeing KeeN coming across the map with a few Marines, a medevac, and a few of these Hellions. Overlord starts to take a little bit of damage, and we are going to be seeing a, again, a little Hellbat's Wolf. And there's a very weird Hellbat attack. We're only 3 Hellbats here initially. There's 8 roaches on the way up. Nerchio's making a less. He wasn't looking to be too aggressive. I think he was just setting up against the Hellbats, and honestly, it might work out for him. Queens have a couple transfuses to spread around. Hits the first one nicely. Is there a second one there? Yes, there is. Hellbats have gone down already, and KeeN is just not getting enough done with this. With the roaches showing up, these units just drop down so quickly, and actually, that's a straight-up GG. Nerchio takes game 2, ties it up 1-1. Just like three guys, just taking a chill tonight, jumping into the games as we get ready. Sorry, I'm having a little bit of fun talking to everyone as well, so yeah, just a little bit of a different stream where we don't have to go kind of based on the players' kind of demands because we're casting replays. So it's just because we have that. It's kind of fun to take the opportunity to chat, talk to chat a little bit more. And it's also nice that we have the ability to talk to chat without a stream delay for once in a while. So what's up, everyone? We might do some fun games after this as well. And just as a reminder, in 30 minutes time, we're going to be doing a Sneak Energy giveaway. You can get yourself a box of Sneak Energy of your flavor of choice. And all you have to do is be in the chat and get ready to enter the giveaway when we do it in about 30 minutes time. So, with that said, we do have to the top left-hand side our blue Terran player, this is KeeN. And to the bottom right-hand side is our red Zerg, this is Nerchio. Where does one keep track of all these events? When are some big games coming up? Well, Effects of Boxy has honestly the link which I would personally recommend, which is teamliquid.net. The calendar on the right-hand side has every major tournament added to it, almost always. So, yeah, I mean, you know, pretty much everything goes on the TL calendar that's worth watching. You know, even smaller events go on there too, online events, online cups, and all the rest of it. So you really can keep up to date with what's going on. It's personally, in my opinion, the best way to keep track of any matches happening, because it's all in one place. If you check it once a day, you know, most events go multiple days before. But if you check it once a day, generally the events are already up there. You know, if you check it once a week even, I mean, you're going to get a good idea of what's coming up. So it's always my personal choice, because I don't actually know anywhere else that really brings it all together. I mean, obviously, you know, you can maybe follow like the base trade schedule page for the base trade events, but you know, really, Team Liquid calendar has absolutely every single event that's going on. So that's always cool to see. It's always cool to see. Alindia, coming in with the $10 donation. Actually said hello in the chat before, and I so rudely didn't reply because I was a little bit busy with the game. But what's up, man? How you doing? It says, hey, Wardy, great stream and love your casting. GG with the $10. Can you get some love in the chat for the $10 donation? Thank you so much, Alindia, for the $10. Let's see some Wardy hearts in the chat, please, for the $10 donation. Thank you so much for the generosity. I really do appreciate it. Really do appreciate it. Glad you enjoyed the show. Glad we have a show to bring you today. Again, just doing something a bit different. We don't really usually kind of go live just to cast replays, but I thought we'd give it a shot. I thought we'd see maybe what happens, and yeah, you know, so far so good. It's been a fun stream so far. It really, really has been. Adzi, did I get your last cheer as well? There's the last little shout I'm going to do, guys. Then I'm going to fully focus up on these couple of cyclones being made. Adzi with the cheer 290 takes the lead once more on the bit board. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate you guys and all the support coming into game. See some love in the chat, guys. All these guys that are going a bit crazy and all the rest of it. And let's talk about this, because Nerchio with a fast road drawn is getting aggressive this game. And it's a fast first CC from KeeN. And it's in such a weird position. Like, off to the left-hand side of the natural, it's in a really good position to deny a scout from Nerchio. Because Nerchio comes in the main and he sees nothing, right? And the Cyclones come out and they're going to be able to kill this Overlord. Usually you wouldn't be able to afford a third CC this quickly off double gas, but by skipping the starport and also by going into Cyclones so soon, you don't make Hellions as often, so you actually have some minerals in excess. And that's going to be, you know, a way to kind of bring this third CC up here in this corner. So that's a nice little something coming through. I like it. I like it a lot. Really cool stuff here from KeeN. But is it going to be okay? Because Nerchio, well, actually, Nerchio made a bunch of roaches, and here's me saying that this is probably going to be aggressive this time, as he didn't have a third hatch or anything. But it may just be one of his ways of just opening somewhat safely here on Abiogenesis. It is a weird map, and players, tend to play some weirder builds on this map as well, because it's so small and so aggressive. So despite this, if this was like Backwater and he was making these roaches, we're probably going to see him commit into an attack. But on Abiogenesis, he's probably just expecting an attack, and hence he goes into this setup where he's going to just go, have the roaches up early enough to defend against anything. Now with the third CC in position over here, I wonder if he just floats it down to this base as well, which isn't the most commonly taken third, but definitely could be taken rather than floating it all the way over here. Depends how much of the, he was just committing to the mind game and how much of it really is just, maybe efficiency as well. As we see Cyclones. Well, they're gathering together on the natural expansion. And we are going to be seeing the Cyclones from KeeN moving down through the center of the map. A couple of Hellions as well. And we do see this lair coming up on the natural expansion. Nerchio going to be finishing this lair up in the next few moments as we see a few more roaches just coming on up. An evolution chamber as well. I mean, that's a lot of Cyclones, but Nerchio with the roach production early should have what he needs to turn this away. Knocking down these rocks already, probably wants to knock them down then kill them off, so he has access down into this position to deal with any sort of siege tank siege down here, which can hit the natural. As right now, the third base of Nerchio under some fire. Roaches run in though. One Cyclone goes down, two Cyclones go down. That's going to be free. Wow, he doesn't get a single unit in return. Obviously some damage on the third base, but that doesn't really add up to much if there's no follow-up to it. Unless that third base goes down, that's 3 Cyclones for really nothing at all. And I wouldn't even say that the third base is so low. That's a threat in the near future, as we're going to be seeing the Lings do pick up those Hellion kills. So they do drop, and we're going to be having 2 more armories on the way up in this natural. So those armories are going to be finishing now And starting up the +1 vehicle weapons, the +1 vehicle plating. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. I mean, he generally will start up, he just didn't have the gas for it, right? But I wonder if he actually just prioritizes his units right now, because this army of Nerchio is at the front. Still doesn't know about the third base coming in. I mean, maybe you can assume there's been a third ZvT at some point now. Doesn't necessarily know that it's moving down in towards that left-hand side third base location. Roaches and Ravagers at the front are so annoying because with Cyclones, you have to be very aggressive with the Cyclones. You really have to have the numbers to be able to deal with them just corrosive battling the wall and actually just working their way through this wall off. So, kind of doing a little bit of that as we do see these units just continue to gather together from KeeN, coming out and gathering at the front. And the Lings of Nerchio just come back. They gather with the Roaches. 7 minutes in, and both of these players really... I don't know how good a position KeeN's really in. I mean, Nerchio's saturated on his 3 bases now. He's on 4 gases, so he's on an okay sort of economy, and he's just making more Roaches. I wonder if Nerchio just gets aggressive soon. I mean, the thing is with Nerchio in this map and this build with the Roaches, you can be aggressive at any point. Just creeps halfway through the map, so these Roaches basically are like so quick to move across that really you can come across, you can deal some damage very quickly, and once you deal that damage, you can back away so quickly too. It's so hard for the Terran to always be prepared for it. There's Nerchio, that's KeeN's vision. Nerchio still doesn't know about that base to the left-hand side. He does see the lack of a third here, which is probably why he's actually kind of cutting drones a lot and actually making Roaches instead, because he's like, oh, no third base, better be wary of the big 2 base all-in you're going for, just because it is so uncommon to take a base to the left-hand side instead. Nerchio's upgrades keep coming through. He goes into Tunneling Claws and Burrow as well. More Roaches on the way. He's down in Workers, by the way, so over time here, this gets worse for Nerchio. Down in Workers against a 3-base Terran player. And KeeN so far, okay, now Nerchio sees it, and now he might actually jump on this opportunity. He's got Lings coming in the right-hand side as well. These run-bys, so annoying. There's nothing in the natural to defend against this, so SCVs are going to start dropping. Now a couple of Cyclones come in, but even those getting picked off by Lings is not a good trade. Nerchio jumps onto the third base. A lot of SCVs already going down. Corrosive battles as well. As we're going to be seeing Nerchio here will turn around to fight for just a little bit, and he is setting up a bit of a flank from the right-hand side. Nerchio's going to turn this into a fully fledged surround. Some more corrosive battles are dropping. Is it enough Roaches from Nerchio? It's going to be kind of close towards the end, but as the numbers start to drop, the Roaches die so much more slowly, and so the numbers stick around. The SCVs continue to drop on down as well, and as a few reinforcement Cyclones come up, I can see this maybe being a cleanup by KeeN, but man, is he going to lose a lot. And well, I mean, the Roach Bow are actually coming into play here to help him get on top of those Cyclones, so the SCVs weren't just blocking him forever. Backs away now, but he's actually going to turn back around and jump up on the siege tanks, it seems. And they try and siege up, which means the tanks are going to go down. As the tanks go down, GG is called. Nerchio takes game 3. Nerchio wins out the best of 3 in the quarterfinals.